guys, this is SGB618 here, and today I've decided to finally talk to you guys about my thoughts on the Power A wired controller and why I personally think that it's the best wired pro controller for Nintendo Switch at the moment. Now, as we know, if you just look on Amazon, there is a buttload of pro controller alternatives, some better than others, let's just say. However, despite me literally having this controller since Mario Tennis Ace's release, which is June 22nd, 2018, yeah, I know time flies, I still use this controller quite happily in 2020, and I think it's about time that I gave it the positive feedback it deserves. So, let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the main thing with this controller, which is the design of it. Power A gives us a load of really cool Nintendo themed controllers like Mario, Zelda and even Splatoon, and I've even seen a couple of non-Nintendo designs like Crash Bandicoot. Of course, I went with the Bowser one because Bowser is one of my favourites, and also red and black is one of my favourite colour combinations, so seeing this design for the first time really impressed me. Hopefully we get a Shy Guy controller in the future. What, I'm just asking, have you seen the Nintendo character that's all over my channel? Anyway, the button layout is pretty much exactly the same as the OG Pro controller, and as for the thumbsticks, they're very similar too. They're really smooth in the middle of the stick, but they have a grip all around. They kind of look like tire tracks in all honesty, but even with that, they feel great. The L and R bumpers and ZL and ZR triggers are big and easy to use. For those of you who care about this as well, you don't need to worry about travel on any of these buttons. Personally, I press my buttons quite hard anyway, so I've never had this issue, but I know a lot of people do, so I thought it was worth mentioning. As for the shape of the controller, the handles are roughly the same size as the OG Pro controller, so you don't need to worry about it being a different size or anything like that. Now let's talk about the biggest thing with this controller that will help you determine your decision on buying it or not, which is the fact that it's wired. This can honestly be either a pro or a con depending on your setup. For me personally, my Switch is right in front of me when I play it docked, so the fact that the controller is wired doesn't really affect me. But I do know that there are some other people who have their TV and their Switch all the way across the room, which would be a big problem. So you know your setup better than I do, so you can decide whether a wired controller is best for you or not. Another thing is the fact that it doesn't have rumble or motion controls, so again, you're going to need to think about how much you take advantage of those features. Again, for me, motion controls and rumble are cool to have, but I don't feel like I have to have them, if that makes any sense. And as for my setup, well, you can go check it out in the card above if you want to see it for yourself, definitely not flexing. But not only is my setup right in front of me as I've just said, but I just kind of like how I don't need to charge anything when I'm done with it. Now let's talk about some of the games it works well with. You got your Mario Karts, your Odysseys, your Tennis Aces, if anyone still plays that game. Anyway, your Smash Bros, the list goes on. Since it's a traditional controller, it should work with most of the games on the platform. Well, except some party games, so sorry to the Super Mario Party lot, the Just Dance crew and the 1-2 Switch gang. The only game that I don't recommend for this controller is Splatoon 2. I think with that game specifically, the motion controls will get you out of tough situations, so stick to Joy-Cons or other controllers that have motion controls, in my opinion. Overall, I'm very impressed with this controller, especially with its price of £20 to £30 versus a £60 to £70 controller that does roughly the same thing. That is a deal right there. I highly recommend the Power A wired controller. Literally, the only possible issues are down to setup and personal preference. By the way, there are wireless options available to this specific controller as well, so if you wanted this controller and you just wanted it wireless, then you can go with that instead. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy this review on the Power A wired controller. So comment down below your thoughts on it, whether you have it or not, and let me know if you're going to be getting it or not, because I'll be very interested to know. Anyway, thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.